everybody, back with a new episode of Babylon 5. Last episode was so incredibly frustrating. All of the actors involved, I kind of trust no one at this point. I am hoping so much that Delenn is back as soon as possible. There's just so much that we don't know, we aren't privy to. But this is shaping into something that that was very unexpected, and I don't know where it's going. Edgar's role in this has gotten so huge, and we did find out that he is not directly involved with Clark, although he didn't really do anything to stop his ascension. But now that Clark is using the telepath, he is wanting to seemingly get rid of all of them. He's working on that substance or whatever to kill them. I think just across the board, and has roped in Garibaldi, who is all in. I think it's mostly for Lisa, but he has to give something to Edgar's, which is Sheridan, and by way of doing that, it is to go get his dad, which apparently Garibaldi knows how to do, or knows the most likely how to figure out where he is. So he's kind of in bed with a devil. And then, Clark we've been new about him, but Sheridan is this whole other thing that I can't figure out, where he is different. I think everyone around him has acknowledged that, but it's like, how different? How far is he willing to go? Is there shreds of truth in the things that Garibaldi has lobbed at him in terms of like this power that he is obtaining pretty rapidly? Because from what we hear from the broadcast from Ivanova, I mean, people are kind of coming over to Babylon 5's side, which I should be cheering about. And I hope, if there is something going on with Sheridan, which I'm almost certain there's something, like, he's not on his own in whatever way that means. But he's also not on his own in that he has Delenn in his quarter, and I need her to get there to assess this, because I'll believe what she believes about him. She's so wise and tested and true, and I just really need to see what she sees. Sheridan has now sent Dr. Franklin, along with Lita, to Mars. We knew Mars was the next goal, but it seems like Sheridan kind of knows this telepath fight is coming because of how much he's wanting to get all of those telepaths that are in the comas because of the attachments to the machines that the Shadows did. Like, he's wanting to wake them up or utilize them, it seems. So I feel like that has to do, because he's so, urgently trying to get Dr. Franklin to figure it out. Like, I feel like this is a battle tactic, but like, does he know he needs to go after Edgar's? Is this maybe he has some kind of intelligence from the resistance on Mars about Edgar's, and that's how he knows something about the telepath? I don't know. This is all conjecture, because after last episode, I was like, I fucking give up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. This next episode is called The Face of the Enemy. I really hope that means we will see that face in a very clarifying way, because who is the enemy? Who is our friend? Who should we be behind? I want to be behind someone that I trust, and that's always been Sheridan, but I don't know if that's right anymore. I'm behind Delenn. I'll just stand there. I'm behind Jakar. Those are my guys. So I hope somebody, an impartial person, Delen's not impartial, but I need someone that's not directly involved with the goings on right now to assess it, because I'm just all over the place. I don't know. But I'm very excited to get back into it because I am craving answers. So we'll see what they give us. So let's do it.
Near proximity hit.
Their jump engines are down.
You're bleeding.
They can't beat us, they can't escape. Why don't they surrender?
This is end game.
End
You'll be
game.
okay as long as nothing goes wrong.
Well, don't say that. Something will.
Captain Sheridan's father's in custody. He's being shipped to a temporary staging area on Mars so we can keep an eye on him.
Damn it.
Contact Sheridan as soon as everything's in place.
As soon as our forces surrender, our crews are taken out, executed, and then replaced by Minbari crews.
Nuh-uh.
Is that what you've been told?
That is,
It is.
not true.
And I believe it.
Based on what?
Than you were at the academy.
Who is that? Mackie?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Alive and
Mackie, vouch for us.
I know what your
Oh,
plans are,
Bester's in
load
this
of crap.
episode.
I'm alive.
They're standing down.
Yes.
Sheridan to attack fleet. They've given the surrender order. Ceasefire. I repeat, ceasefire. Tell the others to...
Just a minute, there's a jump point opening.
Now what? Agamemnon. Sheridan's old ship?
Agamemnon to Sheridan.
My old ship.
We're looking to join up if you don't
Oh,
mind.
hell yeah. Let's go.
Mind. Well, you've just made my whole day.
They brought him.
More telepaths.
Yep.
How many?
A lot.
A lot. All of them?
They believe that you're a pain in the ass, sir, but they trust you. So we voted to join up with you as soon as we could.
Well, I can't tell you what it means to have you aboard.
We're receiving a transmission from Mr. Garibaldi.
Oh, here it comes.
Says it's important.
They've got your dad, John. They traced him through his medication, picked him up at a safe house.
You did that!
Outside of Chicago.
Is he all right?
It's hard to get good information, but I think so. And they're going to use him to get to you.
This is a trap.
Come on, John. If we're going to do this, we got to move fast. I need an answer. I need it now.
Captain, I don't think you should.
If it were your father, what would you do?
Okay, but you know Garibaldi hates you.
All right.
Stinks of a setup.
Look, Susan.
Thank
Michael
you,
and I have
Ivanova.
had our problems lately. But he has never given me reason to think he meant me harm.
Are you kidding?
What if his information is wrong?
It's not. Take White Star 40 and get here as fast as you can.
Shouldn't Delenn?
She's not back yet.
Still?
We need to keep this a clean fight. That means human commanding officers only.
Well, no love lost to any telepaths on
All
Mars.
Says you.
Anyone suspected of being in the resistance is scanned.
Oh,
They're very deep scans.
oh, well, no
The
wonder.
trouble with deep scans is they can cause heart attacks, seizures, strokes. There's been several deaths. Somewhere on Beta Colony there is an institution. In one room of that institution there is a man who spends his days and nights screaming at things only he can see.
Oh boy.
Things we planted in his mind.
It's about Sheridan. I hope he told you what to do with those frozen telepaths, because it looks like you're on your own for a while.
Delenn, Lemire.
Woo!
I was just about to leave. It's good to be back, Commander. Is there a problem? I'm afraid so. President Clark's people have found John's father. They're holding him captive.
He knows what he's doing, he'll be fine.
Oh, Delenn, you
Assuming
missed a
that
lot.
Garibaldi can still be trusted.
That is a incorrect assumption.
What do you want me to do?
You've already done it.
Here we go.
Don't fight it. What are you doing? Just keep it up or they're going to hurt you.
Do they just want to kill him? You would think that they'd want to, like, probe his mind or something. Oh my god, this is like a damn music video.
The leader of the renegade fleet that has been attempting to destabilize Earth for months has finally been located and detained.
Delenn.
Telepaths represent the greatest threat to freedom we've ever seen.
Some telepaths.
We have to deal with that. or face the very real possibility of our own extinction. Do you recognize this?
Yeah, he helped you get it.
Yeah.
This vial does contain a cure, Mr. Garibaldi. It took my people 3 years to develop it. Almost as long as it took us to develop the virus itself.
And your people in the government control the antidote.
It's insurance against the day when they try to do to us what we've done to them. Turn us into second-class citizens.
Jeez.
Try it? Or simply
We can't
withhold
let them be as awful as we
And the
are.
result is you create a slave race.
You have a species that will have a genetic or technological advantage, and that species will always conquer a species without that advantage. Carthage, the triumph of the Homo
This
sapiens
is
over the Neanderthal.
shadow
Shows that.
thinking.
Now, what do we have?
Does any of this pose a problem for you, Mr. Garibaldi?
No.
No.
No, it doesn't. I think what you're doing is right. Telepaths have an unfair advantage. I'm sure you can understand.
Garibaldi,
the danger.
you need to help contain this. I know he hates Sheridan, but he still has a moral compass. He cannot let this happen. Lise, what about you? What is that? Is that like a recording device or something?
You gotta help me stop him. What he's doing, I understand why he's doing it, but it's wrong. I felt that something was going on for a while, but I had no idea.
Hello, Mr. Garibaldi. I knew there were forces out there with plans for my telepath.
How long have you been working together?
I had no idea. I can feel you, you know? The real you, beating at the inside of your skull, screaming to get out.
Oh,
To
Garibaldi.
know what's going on.
Are you the one that captured him?
For a long time, I've been debating what to do when this day came. Let you know what happened to you?
Ah!
I leave you like this, trapped in a prison of meat and flesh and bone.
Give him back!
Forever. We both know that telepaths were a threat to the shadows, one they wouldn't mind eliminating.
Wow.
It's ingenious, really. They
Buster.
played Clark's drive for power on one side, and Edgar's fear of telepaths on the other, leaving us in the middle. He has an innate distrust of authority figures, and he's very good at figuring out when a conspiracy is taking place and tracking it back to its source.
You
We need that power.
give all of the telepaths a bad name. The Psi Corps needs to go.
We don't have to reprogram him. Just accentuate his natural instincts. It could kill you, I suppose.
Don't you fucking
In
dare.
some ways, it might be a mercy. By now, your friends know that you betrayed Sheridan. I used you because I had no other choice.
Oh,
I
save
have
it.
what I want. My interest in you is over.
There were other ways.
We'll be docking in a
You
moment.
little gremlin.
I've just sent the all-clear signal telepathically. After I'm gone, you'll be able to move again. You'll remember it all. You'll be yourself again.
Oh, I missed him.
You can try to tell the others what happened. But under the circumstances, I doubt very much anyone will believe you.
Just explain what happened. Everyone knows what a little shit you are. It's completely believable. Awful. So fucking awful.
It was a setup, and Garibaldi was behind the whole thing.
I just heard he's trying to contact Babylon 5.
You tell Corwin to refuse his signals.
No.
There's nothing that he has to say to me right now that I have the slightest interest in hearing.
Oh, Ivanova.
You tell them that if he turns up on the station, I want that son of a bitch shot on sight.
He's got to go get Sheridan himself. That's the
Seriously,
only
I
answer.
mean it. The captain once told me, the person is expendable, the job is not. We keep going.
Yeah, you keep going. Well, they wasted no time. Bester, oh my god, they could have gotten this information some other way.
President Clark declared today a day of celebration and rest. noting that the capture of renegade Earth Force Captain John Sheridan signals that the war of aggression against Earth is unraveling.
Think again.
Sheridan continues to be well-fed and well-treated.
Come
Now that he has
on.
been freed of alien influences,
Who would
he's reportedly
believe this
indicated feelings of
garbage?
remorse and regret. Captain Sheridan may have been turned in by his own former head of security, Chief Warrant Officer Michael Garibaldi.
Welcome back to everyone hating you,
We at
Garibaldi.
ISN want to convey
This
our
is going to be
personal
tough for you.
thanks and gratitude to a true hero of the people.
Hallelujah. Some answers. Wow. Okay. Some very unexpected answers. I did not suspect Bester, but you can't ever underestimate that little, you just want to, that little shit. That seems so unnecessary, Bester. I feel like they themselves could have done that without making Garibaldi a turncoat in the way that they did. Oh my God, I'm so happy to have Garibaldi back, though. I know he's going to feel terrible, and it's just probably very overwhelming for him. But, I mean, now is the journey back. Now is how we get him to redeem something that, he's not even responsible for, but he's going to have to prove himself. And the only way he can do that is by getting Sheridan back. And, did Psy-Corps take Sheridan? Did they leave him? Because last we saw, Edgar's people had him, but Edgar's dead. And we saw, they turned over their cards. Maybe they shouldn't have, because someone was listening in. And it's so ridiculous to me that Edgar's has this whole spiel of, it's the shadows in a different form. It's their whole philosophy of evolution and survival of the fittest. And the outrage that Bester, he's not even outraged. He's so very calm and collected about everything. But the thing that he is against is, what he did to Garibaldi. You're no better. You're no better. But Bester at the same time, pretty much has the same philosophy. It's kill or be killed. And he believes in the supremacy of the telepath. So, we're fighting the same monsters here. And, wow. I'm not surprised that Sheridan went. It's his dad. I don't know if you can begrudge him that. And it's sweet in a way that in whatever reality he was living in, he didn't think that Garibaldi could have possibly not had his best interest at heart here with their sordid history as of late. But he went in there, eyes wide open and got railed against. They beat the shit out of him and they imprisoned him. This is all, coming more into focus of what's happening here. I'm not surprised that the Psy-Corps was against and trying to root out Edgar's because of what he wanted to do. He was wrong as well. But, Psy-Corps is the same thing. And, Clark is the dummy that is kind of going to potentially put them in a really high place of power. And the answer is not extermination of the entire telepathic race. It is using the people who don't believe in that kind of absolute power in the telepaths, because they're not a monolith. They don't all believe the same thing. You have to use the ones that are against that, against them. And maybe that is what Sheridan's trying to do with the ones that he sent to Mars, who, the resistance was not exactly excited to see. But we heard tell of what Lita said that the Psy-Corps have done in the past, and it's no surprise. God, it's so heartbreaking to hear Bester so coldly talk about Garibaldi just in there fighting away, trying to get out. Like, he's in the same position that the Psi Corps put that guy that Lita was talking about, desperate to do something and absolutely unable to, just trapped and in his own straitjacket in his head, you know? So all of this is awful to know, but I'm glad we know it. So we know what we're truly up against. And, you know, Edgar's, he's out of here. He's out of there. So at least that eliminates one problem. But now Psi Corps has something to use against telepaths that won't fall in line. So this is kind of bad. This is kind of awful. It's even more awful the more I think of it. God damn it. We have to get that away from them, I would suspect, because I feel like we are going to have to utilize telepaths who want to help us. I would think that we would let them choose to help us and not have it forced upon them. But they are going to have to worry about this virus now. But you can't just disperse it. You can't have, Psi Corps not going to just disperse it because it would affect them. But they'll use it with intention, for sure. They took lease, which I feel like is maybe an insurance policy if Garibaldi wants revenge, which I'm sure he does. But right now, I think he is going to try to get Sheridan back. But I mean, I feel like Bester feels like he can just do whatever he did again. That's probably his downfall, letting Garibaldi live, which I'm very grateful for. But Garibaldi's going to redeem himself, even if everything was out of his hands. He's going to feel responsible for this, and he's going to want to make it right as much as he can and get Lise back for sure. Man. Ivanova was, as expected, like if this was the information you have and it's not untrue, you would feel the same way, but there are other factors, and the other factor is fucking Bester. But if he doesn't have his lover, if we have her and she is one of the ones that went to Mars, maybe that's our insurance policy. He didn't take her, right? He was just like visiting her there. So that could be something that we use later on. I wonder if Sheridan's dad is okay. I don't know. I was just never suspecting Bester, because the only thing that we had to go on with what happened to Garibaldi is that, like, the last we saw, he was like inside of a shadow ship. And like they talked about here, shadows were no friend to telepaths. So I never made that connection. But there it is. It was Bester, you little... Oh, you just want to wring his little neck. Well. Delenn, so happy she's back, but, just miss Sheridan. I'm still, on the fence about what I think about Sheridan. As always, I really don't know where he's at, but he's locked up right now, so that's not even something that we can even assess right now. I really wanted Delenn and Sheridan to be around each other. But we saw at the beginning, like, they are still... with the help of Mackie in this circumstance, but we're steadily gaining a lot of people that are realizing or finally getting to know that what they've been being told is just not true. That, oh, well, if you do surrender, they're gonna, replace you with Minbari. They're playing on that old fear of that old war. It's effective, but I'm glad that so many of these people have interpersonal relationships with Meki and Sheridan, and, you know, having the Agamemnon come in, that was great too. So, I mean, we're still formidable, and Ivanova said, you know, and it's the truth. This resistance, this fight is not just one person, and that is still going to go strong, no matter what ISN says. So I feel pretty good about this, even though this was a hard pill to swallow, just to know, like, we knew that this was not Garibaldi and something had happened to him. And you know, if you would have pushed me on it, I would have probably said, yeah, he's probably like, I mean, there's probably a possibility that he's conscious and this is, he's fighting against it. But like, just to have it confirmed that he's been fighting all of this time, you're just like, ugh, all of this, like, how much I've been upset with him all this time. It's not him. It wasn't him. It was them pushing him in a way that is not true to who he is. They forced this, even though it's kind of like a predilection that he already has, where he does, you know, buck against authority and is, but he's so smart and he's loyal, and this would have never happened under his own control. So it's just devastating to finally hear it laid out. And Bester's smug, cold arrogance is just, while he's like breaking it all down for you, you're just like, oh, I can't believe this shit. But I feel like Psychor is back on the table as like the biggest threat that we really have to worry about. And that is something that the current fight is not focused on. I mean, it's a part of what they're going after with Clark, but their focus is Clark and not what he's enabling and propping up himself. So Psychor really is going to have to be dealt with. The telepaths themselves deserve a revolution. They need to be unchained from this. I mean, these fucking cops. The Psychor's got to go. And hopefully something can take its place in the way that is caring toward telepaths, but not putting them above everyone else, which is what, you know, it's what we were doing with Edgar's. It's people like only caring about themselves and not caring about everyone as a whole. So yeah, the Shadows and Vorlons are gone. They've been gone for a little bit now, but we are just in the thick of what they've left behind and the mindsets that they left behind. It's not just their physical beings being there. It's what they've sown. And that is really going to be tough to root out. But at least we know. It feels good to know. It really does, especially after last episode when I felt like I didn't know anything. And there's still things to know. I still want to know what's going on with Sheridan. I feel like he may being affected in the same way that Garibaldi was. Maybe not to that extent, but you know, there's things to know. And there's things to have to plan for. We really got to figure out what we're going to do about Psychor. But maybe Sheridan is already kind of on that case. Interesting stuff. This was really good. I'm glad at least one problem is off the table in Edgar's. But we kind of created this whole other new thing with the telepaths or the Psychor having this virus now. And the antidote that they can give out as they see fit. So you can't feel too good about anything, but I'll take having Garibaldi back for sure. And I look forward to the day that he rescues Sheridan, because I feel like that's the only way that this has to go. So we'll see how long that's going to take, how he goes about it, and what Ivanova and the crew and the resistance do until then. So, yeah, good episode. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back soon.